Hi there guys, so today I'm going to be talking about this book right here, Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. Look at my tabs. They're orange to match the book. I only actually have one more orange tab left in my little tab thing, because I had a lot of places that I really liked in this book. So yes, let's review. Spoiler free, here we go! Gone Girl is about a husband and a wife, Nick and Amy Dunn, and they've been married for 5 years, and on their 5th wedding anniversary, Amy goes missing, and in the aftermath, Nick is trying to find his wife, and the police are questioning him, and he's kind of a suspect because, you know, it's always the husband, and he has secrets of his own, and he's very suspicious, kind of, and we get to see, like, the story switches between his perspective in the aftermath and Amy's, diary that she's written over the past several years. So we kind of get to see, you know, the two perspectives, it switches, and obviously Amy's is in the past and Nick is in the future, but Nick talks about things that have happened in the past, and so in the book we kind of get to, they talk about the same events that have happened sometimes, and they have sometimes contrasting views on things, so you kind of are reading it and you're like, who's telling the truth here? Because you're saying different things, so someone is probably lying or both of them are lying, and you're kind of wondering, what is the truth? Where is Amy? What happened to her? Did Nick actually kill her? Give me answers, book. So yes, that's kind of what this book is about. I loved it. I loved it a lot. It was so awesome. The start of the book was kind of slow for me before the twist. There's a big twist that happens. The start of the book was pretty slow, but then once the twist starts to happen, or once it happens, then things really pick up and things get crazy. Crazy! I have learnt from reading another Gillian Flynn book and reading this one and hearing what people have to say about her books, that the twist or the mystery of the book, this is a mystery thriller book, the twist of her books is not the most important thing. Like, that's not the focus of the book. The focus, or the main thing that you should take away when you're reading, is the characters. Gillian Flynn's characters are the worst characters ever. They are so broken. When I say the worst characters ever, I mean they're the worst kind of people, but they're the best characters. Like, they are so broken, they are so terrible, they're so unlikable, you do not like Amy or Nick, and just her characters are always these broken people who are so real, but their realness is very, very bad. Like, they're just, when I was reading this, I felt kind of unhealthy just being close to these people. Like, they just are not very good people. They have a lot of bad things going on in their life, and they have a lot of flaws. And I think that her books are kind of about exploring people like that, and exploring deeply flawed people and their lives and kind of their stories. And then there is a twist and there is a mystery going on, but I think that that's kind of secondary, and so that's how I went into this book, how I, you know, read this book, with that mindset that it was about the characters and it was about how sickly and how terrible they were, and, you know, kind of, also they were really fascinating as well. They're really complex, really defined characters, and that's one of the reasons that they're so terrible to be around, because they are so real and so terrible, that you just feel like there was kind of, sometimes I had this hollow kind of feeling in my stomach when I was reading this, just because, no, why would you do that? That's such a terrible decision. Their marriage was really interesting to kind of see their marriage and to see the different aspects to it, and to see this relationship where these two individuals who are really flawed come together and have a really, really, really flawed marriage as well. So it was really interesting. The characters are by far the most, like, the best thing about this book, and I loved the kind of look into Amy and Nick's life. And yeah, I did figure out what the twist was going to be pretty early on. I wasn't shocked by it, but I was so glad that it happened, because when it did, everything just spiraled out of control, and I got to just see more of the characters and see more of what they were thinking, and the truth was finally revealed, and I got to see more of it, and I was so excited to see what was going to happen, and nervous about how this book was going to end. And I did actually like the ending. A lot of people don't like the ending because they don't like it. I don't want to spoil anything, so. But yeah, I did like the ending, and I think it fit well with the book, so I did really like it. It is definitely a book that will leave you feeling kind of depressed a little bit, and just unhealthy when you're reading it, and just not, it's not a very happy book. But it's so fascinating, and I just was just spurred on by these characters who are just the worst people. Just the worst people. But yeah, that's my review of the book, and the only negative thing that I had really about this book was the slow start. It was kind of slow paced at the start. But yeah, other than that, I really enjoyed it, and I'm giving it 4.5 out of 5. So now I'm going to talk about this book with spoilers, so if you haven't read Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn, then you should click away, because you definitely don't want to be spoiled for this, because you need to read it and you need to, like, the twist, like, you might not figure out the twist and you might not figure out the end, or you won't figure out the end, probably. So definitely don't watch this if you haven't read the book, because I'm gonna spoil it now. Are you ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, spoiler time. I loved Amy. Amy was like my favorite person ever. I always liked the villains in stories, but Amy is like next level villain. Like, she is like the most terrible person ever, the most scary person ever. Like, I feel like if I knew Amy in real life, I'd be running. I'd be like, it doesn't matter like if I had a home, or if I had family, or if I had like possessions, I would leave my books to get away from Amy. Because as much as I love Amy and as fascinating as she is scary as hell. Like, oh my goodness me, Amy is like the scariest person ever. She's just terrifying. But even so, I was rooting for her the whole way through. Like, Diary Amy, I rooted for her because she just seemed like the underdog. Like, I was just like, please be more than this. Please be more, please know what's going on, because if you don't know what's going on, that is so disappointing. I need you to know what's going on. That's one of the reasons that I figured out the twist, was because I just needed for her to not just be this. Like, I needed for her to know what was going on and to like secretly have run away and faked her death. I needed her to do that, and when she did, I was like, thank you. There was like relief. I was like, thank you for being diabolical and crazy, because if you hadn't been, I would have been so disappointed and just so... It would have been such a letdown if she had just been Diary Amy. And then also I figured it out because, you know, of the events that are told where they give different versions of it, where like Amy thinks a completely different thing to an event that Nick does. I kind of was like, I wonder if this diary is completely honest. Because you know how diaries can be kind of falsified or exaggerated, and I was kind of like, you know, what if this diary isn't her diary? What if she's completely different? What if this is like evidence that she's leaving? I actually like thought that before I found out what the twist was. So I expected those things and I was glad when it happened, but I was not expecting Amy. Amy was like, whoa. I thought that she had used the money from the credit cards, like when she bought all that stuff. I thought she had used it to like go off and like buy stuff and like live her life, like go to Mexico or something, because that's where you go when you like try to run away from the police or fake your death. That's what I thought she did, and when Nick found the shed with all the stuff in it, I was like, okay, so how is Amy, like, where is she getting her money from? Like, what is she doing? Like, I didn't understand. And then she's like, I'm gonna kill myself. And she said it so nonchalantly, like, I'm gonna kill myself, which is one of the reasons that she's so scary. It's just no big deal to her. And I was like, no, what are you doing? That you're insane, you're insane. That's when I realized that she was insane. And for some reason, that didn't make me like her any less. I feel like that is a big problem for me. But like I said, it's only in the book that I like Amy. If I met Amy in real life, be running for the hills. I loved Amy. I didn't really like Nick at the start. I didn't really like Amy, but I kind of just love her character and love her her craziness. You know, I bet she never procrastinates. That must be what it's like to not procrastinate. If you don't procrastinate, then you must be Amy. You must be like crazy, because who doesn't procrastinate? But yeah, I didn't like Amy, but I still kind of like, I felt not connected to her, but like, I just was rooting for her, I guess. And I didn't like Nick, but once we realized who Amy is, I kind of felt a little bit sorry for Nick, because I was like, yeah, you're not gonna do so well. You're going to jail. Because Amy is crazy and she's gonna get stuff done, and I felt sad for him after that, but I still didn't like him. I didn't like anyone in the story. A lot of people are like, I liked Go because she's the only like real normal person. I didn't like Go because she was normal. I was like, you're just normal, you're boring, go away. I liked her. I liked her sassiness and everything, but I wasn't fascinated by her. Which again makes me question, Dylan, why do you only like the bad characters? What is up with that? And yeah, so I just really like this book, and I also really like the end. I thought it fit well. I think I only would have been happy with that end, or if Nick and Amy both died. I didn't want Amy to just die, because I felt like that would have meant that Nick would win. I didn't want Nick to win, but I didn't necessarily want Amy to win, so if Nick died, then that would have been sad. I needed both of them to die, or both of them to live. Preferably, I wanted both of them to die, because, you know, they really shouldn't be raising a child. That's not good. And that was actually a shock for me. That was a big twist, finding out that she was pregnant. I have a lot of tabs now. I want to read some of my favorite parts of the book to you because I do. I really liked the thing I think Nick said about how everyone is just playing characters from TV. Like you're just like we watch so much TV and we're exposed to so much TV and movies and books that we're just kind of saying whatever they say in situations. So when someone dies, we say what someone would say in a movie when someone dies. So we don't ever say anything unique anymore. I thought that was really interesting. Ironic people always dissolve when confronted with earnestness. It's their kryptonite. That's so true as well, and so interesting. I love everything that Amy says. She's so crazy and smart. Fact is, my wife is a murderess who is sometimes really fun. I just laughed so much when he said that, and I just was like, you guys are meant to be with each other. You guys are, like, at the start of the book I didn't think they were meant to be with each other, because I was like, this is the worst marriage ever, but by the end I was like, you guys should be together. You should be together, because you're both just terrible people. And then also he says at the end of this page, I am a great husband because I'm very afraid she may kill me. Tell me what you think about the book in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you next time. Bye.